Lost 20 pounds. They want him to be like David Lighty was last year, defend multiple positions.
Patrick Young out to Beal with spectacular range. And here's Irving Walker, the little 5'8" senior. Out for Murphy with a long one. He'll drop in a three. Eric Murphy is 6'10" out there.
6'10", and get used to seeing Deshaun Thomas, #1 for Ohio State, involved in pick and rolls. Billy Donovan and his staff feel that Thomas is the least capable defender, and they're going to go right at him like they just did.
Drafted possession here up top for William Buford, one of the great scorers already in the history of Ohio State, now a senior, and could become the school's all-time leading scorer on his fall-away jumper. That won't go.
Well, not if he shoots shots like that.
Here's Kenny Boynton, who led the Gators in three-point attempts last year. A little leaner there for two.
First couple minutes in this game, bad sign for Ohio State. Anytime a Florida guard has put their head down and gone to the basket, they have absolutely blown by an Ohio State defender. The key for Ohio State, keep guards in front of them, make them shoot over you, not get past you.
Buford looking inside. Here's Kraft outside the three, trying to work on Walker. Here's Thomas, too strong by Deshaun Thomas. So Florida hitting their shots. Ohio State cold out of the gate. Here's Beal, contested by Kraft, got a hand on it, and now traveling violation will give it right back over to Ohio State. Thad Matta, the head coach of the Buckeyes, his 8th year here as a head coach, 11 years altogether. He's won at least 20 games every single season.
His 8th year, meaning he's coached 7, 4 Big Ten championships in those 7 years, 3 Big Ten tournament championships in those 7 years, and 2 other years he was finalist in the Big Ten tournament. So 5 times he played for the Big Ten tournament championship in 7 years. Unbelievable.
The favorite to win it again this year, which would be their 3rd in a row. Here's Buford. That didn't touch anything from the corner. So he is stone cold right away. Boynton will fire it up there. That misses badly. A couple of ugly shots. Kraft super quick, handing off. Buford won't wait, and that one a little better for him.
Buford much more relaxed on that. Aaron Kraft getting the ball.
Deal flying down the lane, lost to Kraft, trying to make a great save. Will be saved. Ohio State will have it off Florida. Billy Donovan, 16th year at the helm for the Gators. His players were no problem at all for Donovan. It was rebuilding his coaching staff after last season. That required some work. He lost 3 assistant coaches.
And he brought in 2 head coaches. John Pelfrey, longtime friend of Billy, the coach at Arkansas, came back. Norm Roberts from St. John's came back, replacing Rob Lanier, who went to Texas. Richard Pitino went back with his dad to Louisville. And Larry Shiat, longtime assistant, head coach now at Wyoming. 2nd stint for Larry at Wyoming.
Thomas in close. Nice spin move with the left hand. Taps it, and another miss. 15:59 to go here in the first half, and the pace beginning to pick up rapidly. Number 8 Florida and number 3 Ohio State.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Disney Parks. Don't wait, let the memories begin. And in part by Audi, Truth in Engineering. And the new Capital One Cash Card for the people who want 50% more cash.
City Arena, Columbus, Ohio. There's a lonely Florida fan in what is quite obviously Buckeye territory. A look inside our one-on-one for you tonight, and just to give you an idea of how much talent is on display, there could be as many as 9 McDonald's All-Americans on the floor at any given point tonight.
Yeah, and why not? Both of these coaches know how to coach real talent, and there is a skill to coaching talented players. Talented basketball players have a lot of people around them that are telling them how great they are. You have to massage egos. You also have to have a great facility to get players. Billy Donovan and Thad Matta certainly have that. You also have to have a track record. Billy Donovan and Thad Matta have that. A track record of not only great teams, but of developing great players.
Scotty Wilbekin now into the ballgame for the Florida Gators, wearing number 5. Murphy with another long one. Great touch out of him early.
It's going to be a tough task for the foreman of Ohio State. That time it was Evan Ravenel, who was not able to get out to Murphy. We saw earlier Thomas wasn't able to get out to Murphy.
Jordan Seibert also into the game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So both sides going to their bench early. That's always a headline, though, when it's Thad Matta. But this year, he could actually do that. It's a question of how well the youngsters are going to play. It's a very young team. Kraft into the corner for Buford. Will he shoot it again? Airborne with the pass. Deflected. Gobbled up by Seibert. Now a tussle for it. On the attack field. Trying to make a spin move. The crowd thought he traveled with it, and it's poked away by Ravenel.
What great positioning and then great hands. When you watch Aaron Kraft, watch the balance that he has. He moves his feet, his head is up, his hands are active, and he's always on balance defensively.
Sullinger trying to pass out of the double team. Knocked out a play by Florida. Well, Thursday night, ESPN 2 serves up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer, the semifinals. First at 7, Texas A&M meeting Mississippi State. Then at 9, Steve Lavin, St. John's Red Storm take on Solomon Hill and Arizona.
Everybody happy to see Steve back on the sidelines.
Lav making a tremendous recovery from the cancer surgery. It looks marvelous. Back on the sideline where he belongs after a great year for St. John's last season. Here 11-4 Florida. Decent start certainly for the Gators, who were 29-8 last year. Just missing a spot in the Final Four when they lost to Butler in overtime in the Elite 8. Sullinger again batted away by Walker, has to go and get it. Working hard inside, up and in for 2. His dad here, as he always is.
Sullinger's lost 25 pounds and looks great. Asked him how he did it. He credited the strength coach, but he also said, my food had more colors to it, meaning vegetables, green beans, reds, tomatoes, things like that. Just a combination of diet.
Will Yegan got hit in the eye, the 6'7" sophomore from Bordeaux, France. So he'll have to step out. 14:33 to go in the opening half. Played for France this summer in the FIBA U20 European Championships. He helped them to a bronze medal.
Real active kid on the backboard, and when you're as active as he is, sometimes you're going to get hit.
Walker, great speed down the lane with the dish. Now back on high it comes to Mike Rosario, another guy who can really shoot it.
Good call.
Foul here. There's 18 on the shot clock. Walker cast it up. And it'll be on Ravenel, number 30 for Ohio State, his first.
Ravenel, as we said, having a problem getting out to Murphy. That time he just decided to grab Murphy's jersey and pull him as he went out to set a ball screen.
That was the first foul of the game by either side, almost 6 minutes in. Irving Walker, the 5'8" senior. Here's Murphy. They leave him open again, and he makes him pay.
That's what he does. And again, Ravenel at the 4 position cannot get out to Murphy.
Murphy did make 12 out of 33s last year, 40%, so this should not be a surprise.
No, it's not, and he has a pure stroke, meaning when he shoots and misses, you're surprised.
He's 3 for 3 from three-point land tonight. Sullinger facing the basket, drawing a double team every time. Player of the Year candidate up and around and up, and he draws a foul. He gets hit and knocked to the deck. Back to the Murphy 3 moments ago.
Well, 2 things are happening here. Number 1, the ball is not being contained. You see Walker going right down the lane, and then Ravenel, because he had to help on Walker, is late getting out to a kid that, again, when he shoots the ball, his elbow position underneath the ball, his wrist position underneath the ball, his follow-through are spectacular. You are surprised when Murphy misses an open jump shot.
Walker with the foul. Sullinger, a 70% foul shooter as a freshman. As you mentioned, he's whittled 20 pounds off that frame. And that's allowed him to improve his footwork. Said he's added a couple of moves, which he hopes to show us tonight.
Well, right now, Florida really well schooled how to dig on the post. Next time down, the ball goes to Sullinger. Watch the man who fed the ball. Watch his defender. Watch how good he is helping on Sullinger.
Rosario trying to dish underneath and throws it away. So the Gators give it up. They've turned it over 4 times. Ohio State last year, 34-3, did not lose a game until February 21st. February 21st when Wisconsin picked them off in that great comeback. And one of the best games of the season. Here's Thomas up high, too strong. They went on to win the Big Ten. They were the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. Tough layup there on the leading shot by Rosario. Buford outside the three. He's comfortable out there. Ohio State was actually the best three-point shooting team in America last year. That's with Sullinger in tight again out of the double team. Seibert will knock it down for three-point land, and that was on cue. So Ohio State pulls to within 3. Thomas goes flying into the seats looking to save it. Can't do it. 12:35 left. Now Florida won their second national title in 2007. The Ohio State Buckeyes were the opponent. Gators won that game 84-75. Buford seals him. Here's Young with a catch. Tremendous physique. Up it goes, but no. And Sullinger tears down another one. Sullinger, an improved jump shot, but he misfires there. And Walker is shoved and fouled by Seibert, who commits his personal. Ohio State hit 42% from three-point territory last year to lead the country.
Well, you'll see the man helping. In this case, it's Walker. Sullinger goes right back to the man Walker was guarding. In this case, it was Seibert. That's what Florida has decided to do. Dig from the post feeder. In that case, it was Seibert. He has to step up, knock in the shot, or if he's not going to knock in the shot, he has to cut through and get out of there.
Traffic. Walker has it knocked away, and now numbers here for Ohio State. Buford into the lane, banks it, no. Young with the save.
Boy, Brad Beal is playing terrific defense on William Buford, keeping him in front of him, forcing him to shoot over a bigger target, which is Beal.
Buford swiped that ball, got a fingertip on it to deflect it. And 6 turnovers now for the Gators. They will turn it over frequently. Kraft with the blow-by and lays it in. He is so quick.
So good with the hesitation.
And wants the crowd into it big time. They're within 1. Rosario will fire away and get it. A three-pointer from Mike Rosario, the transfer from Rutgers.
Rosario's a kid that has scored 1,000 points, scored 1,000 points in 2 years at Rutgers. He was a high-volume shooter, averaged 16 shots per game to average 16 points. Here he's not going to get those and not get that many shots. Has to take advantage like he just did.
Florida by 4. Kraft into the paint again. From the wing and knocked down by Buford. A clean 3, back to 1 down.
Right back at you. Florida's been penetrating, finding the wing. That time Kraft penetrate, find the corner shooting Buford.
Walker left free. Too strong, tip back out to him. Trying to tiptoe, but he stepped on the line and he turns it over.
When you guard a man that hesitates, you have to stay down. Murphy raises up. Kraft goes right around him.
You're watching ESPN's Tip-Off Marathon, presented by Disney Parks.
Kraft and his outstanding defense. This is from their season opener against Wright State.
I think Aaron Kraft's the best returning defender in the Big Ten. You see him just fight around screens, gets his hands involved. This play I love. Next play right here. The ball's loose. He's late to it, but he just knocks the Wright State kid out of the way and gets the ball. And tonight, he does a great job of moving his feet and digging. He rarely fouls on a reach-in because his hands are so far out in front of him. He's able to see the ball with his eyes as he reaches with his hands. It's a skill that very few players have.
Pretty amazing. Kraft, as a freshman, led the Buckeyes in assists, and yet he only started 1 game all season.
Well, when he came in last year, the entire defensive focus, defensive intensity picked up, and the team got down the floor faster. Because when you play with a kid offensively like Kraft, you want to run because you know he's going to get you the basketball.
Tonight he has 1 block, 1 steal. And Ohio State trying to grab the lead here at Value City Arena, Columbus, Ohio. Number 3 against number 8. Harassed there, knocked out a play by Wilbekin, and Ohio State will keep it with 10:04 to go in the half. And Buford will check it in. Buckeyes with very lofty expectations, but they're one of the youngest teams in the country. They have 11 freshmen and sophomores.
And talking to Thad Matta before the game, he doesn't know who can really play in a game like this. He's anxious to see which of his young kids, like right here, Siebert, can come in and play in an environment as charged as this one.
Sullinger hooks it back up. Seibert couldn't get the return, and here come the Gators. Florida is one of the best road teams in America last year. They won 75% of their road games. That was 3rd best in the country.
And the reason for that, Dave, is the 2 guards. Walker and Boynton are fearless kids. And when you have fearless guards, good things happen.
And Bradley Beal making good things happen. The freshman from St. Louis taken away by Wilbekin. Great feed here. And the slam by Beal.
That's as bad a play as I've ever seen Aaron Kraft make on an inbound. You never see him careless with the basketball. He was careless on the inbound, wasn't able to get in position to take a charge.
Florida showing pressure. And now Kraft will call for a play. 21-16 Gators. Seibert, the sophomore from Cincinnati. Here's Buford to fire again and got it.
That's a well-coached team, Ohio State. They're reeling a little bit, made a bad play. What do? You set your 2 best up on the same side, Buford and Sullinger, and you go to them.
Boynton gave up the ball. He's been pretty quiet so far in the first half. Beal has made some noise here on a big stage. Boynton, their top returning scorer with the ball here. Almost 15 a game last year. Down the lane with the right hand.
Once again, when a guard for Florida puts his head down, straight lines it to the basket, Ohio State's on-ball defender, in this case Seibert, has not been able to keep in front.
Murphy jumped from behind, nearly stole it away. Thomas, and he's traveling with it. Deshaun Thomas gives it back. Thursday, the Puerto Rico tip-off continues. Games on ESPN2 and ESPNU. More on that in a moment. 7:59 to go here in the first half. 23-18, the Gators.
In studio with this update, I'm Cindy Brunson. Right now on ESPN, it's number 6 Duke taking on Michigan State at Madison Square Garden. Blue Devils with a 1-point lead at the half. Austin Rivers adding to that lead in half number 2. Blue Devils up 3 in the second half. Dave, Dan, back to you.
Cindy, thank you very much. Florida has not trailed. They've led by as many as 6 on top, 23-18. And moments ago, our ESPN football colleague Chris Spielman of Ohio State accepting a check presentation on behalf of the Stephanie Spielman Fund for Breast Cancer Research. And I got a tremendous ovation here from the fans at Ohio State. Gators with the basketball. Point out beyond the 3, being harassed by Smith. Rosario also has excellent shooting range. Here's you get. After getting poked in the eye, flips up a wild one.
Yeah, this is a tough lineup for Florida. They're not going to stay with this lineup very long. Nobody on the perimeter real comfortable right now.
Kraft, nifty bounce pass, and the foul with 7:17 to go. We talked about it earlier. The Puerto Rico tip-off continuing first at 5 o'clock on Thursday. Maryland taking on Alabama. The Crimson Tide are going to make a lot of waves this year on ESPN2. Then at 7:30 Eastern at ESPNU, Wichita State battles Colorado. Murphy with the foul.
I absolutely love Alabama. Anthony Grant, he's built a culture of toughness and defense, and their crowd buys into it. Just like Purdue. When we go do Purdue games, the crowd expects you to guard somebody. And it's the same thing in Alabama. And remember the name JaMychal Green. I talked to Alabama's assistant, Dan Hipsher. He's playing at a higher level. He's as talented as any. Had a great summer playing for USA Basketball. Watch Alabama making a big run throughout the course of the entire season.
Deshaun Thomas pulls Ohio State to within 3 again. Boynton weaves into the paint. That won't fall, and a foul and a rebound. Afraid to be an offensive foul. against Florida. And Billy Donovan with a coaching tree developing himself. Anthony Grant now at Alabama, part of that.
Yeah, Anthony Grant doing a terrific job, but nobody in the country doing a better job than Shaka Smart taking VCU to the Final Four. The only guy doing a better job is Brad Stevens and Butler going to 2 straight national title games.
Hard to argue that. The bounce inside. Sullinger draws the contact, and he'll be going to the line here. Crowd actually wanted a foul. They thought Kraft was held around midcourt, trying to get by his man. This foul will go against Prather. And he's the guy the crowd wanted the foul on earlier. Sullinger again to the line. He was the National Freshman of the Year last year, preseason All-American this year. And any argument here, best in the United States down on the low block?
I don't think there is an argument. People oftentimes talk about Jared Sullinger, how big he is, you know, great hands, all that. They forget how tough that kid is, how determined that kid is. You know, a lot of kids get on the low block, they float out. He doesn't. He wants contact. He wants physical play, and it's rare. I think he's the best.
He really seeks out contact.
He does. He's just really, really tough on top of being skilled.
Prather floats it up, no, short-rimmed it, tipped out. And the crowd obviously not happy with that call, as the Gators will keep it. They're howling on every call, 23-22. Off the inbound, stuck by Boynton. Donovan wants him to concentrate on better shot selection. I think that would qualify.
It would, but give Deshaun Thomas credit. He went out and got the shooter, but Kenny Boynton is a fearless scorer and used Deshaun Thomas's hand like a sight.
Buford trying to step into one. You look at the fouls, quite low. Just 6 in the game so far, and we're approaching the 6-minute mark. So from that respect, it's been a clean game. Kraft held up, and they do get the foul that time on the hold on Kenny Boynton. The number 1 on the junior from Pompano Beach, Florida.
Well, you can see either Boynton or Walker are going to pressure, get into, and be very physical with Aaron Kraft with the hopes of wearing him down and getting him out of the basketball game. Kraft rarely wears down, but when you have 2 kids as strong, quick, athletic, and experienced as Boynton and Walker, they have a real shot to do it.
Terrific all-SEC backcourt for the Gators. The bounce in for Sullinger. Doubled up again. One dribble down. Tough shot, no. Collects his own miss. That's tapped away clean. Here comes Rosario. The floater, and tried to stuff down by Young, but a whistle on the play. Young with that tremendous physique of his, so tough to contain around the iron. Smith with the foul. We look again.
Well, the foul had to be underneath, had to be on the body. Don't look at the ball, look down. You see Smith Jr. kind of swiping right there. And referees are going to protect the man that goes into the air.
26-22. Patrick Young, 70% foul shooter. And he can be a spectacular dunker, as he showed during the summer U20 World Championships in Latvia. Had some highlight reel dunks. He makes 1 of 2. So 27-22, the Gators. They have not trailed here in the first half on the road at Columbus, Ohio. Here's Thomas to line it up. Got it. All net on the 3. He's one of 3 left-handed shooters for the Buckeyes. Not a bad bullpen.
No, Deshaun Thomas, a kid that can get hot. We saw it last year at Illinois, at Indiana.
Beal on the drive, stops. Lost that dribble. Shot clock at 13 for the Gators. Walker. Lost it. Sullinger there to collect. Here's Smith. Murphy bats it down and fouls him. 5:04 to go in the half. Murphy picks up his second personal.
This is a rare bad decision by Walker. He blows by, gets caught in the air. Murphy didn't help him out. He didn't uncover himself. And then the Buckeyes doing what the Buckeyes do. They want to get out down in transition.
So they'll send Lenzel Smith Jr. to the line, a sophomore from Illinois. Ohio State fans really missed him most of last season. He suffered an early season wrist injury, serious wrist injury, and he barely played. So here we are in the tip-off marathon into hour number 21. And for our money, the best matchup of the entire marathon, number 8 against number 3. Beal kicks it out off his sneaker.
It's just a function of going too fast. When you're a defensive player, you want to speed the offensive guy up. And when you speed him up, things like dribbling off your foot, dribbling off your knee, forcing up a bad shot happen.
8 turnovers for Billy Donovan's team. Smith. Here's Buford. Difficult shot. He air-mailed it. Well defended, but he tossed up a bad shot. 27-25. The Gators outside the conference will also face Syracuse on December 2nd and Arizona December 7th. Here's Beal. Well, they say he has Ray Allen range. Whistle here with 4:20 to go. Did not hit that one. Thursday night, ESPN2 serving up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. At 7, Texas A&M meeting Mississippi State. And then at 9 o'clock, it'll be St. John's and Arizona. Thomas with his first foul for Ohio State. Rosario off the fake. Nice shot for 2.
Well, he's a shot maker. He just took the ball 1-2 dribbles on the baseline. There's 2 kids in this game. They're going to shoot it every time they touch it. One is Deshaun Thomas for Ohio State, and the other is Mike Rosario for Florida.
Rosario, one of those McDonald's All-Americans we talked about. We could see as many as 9 on the court at the same time tonight.
Yeah, and one of them has to get the ball right here. This ball has to go into Jared Sullinger against Larson, who's in the game for the first. It has to.
Sullinger goes right at him, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2 shots. 29-25 Florida here in the tip-off marathon in Columbus.
Cindy Brunson in studio coming up at the half with Doug Gottlieb. We'll have the very latest on Coach K's pursuit of career victory 903. Number 5 Syracuse taking on Albany. Everybody's got their sights set on New Orleans, including Jim Boeheim and Pat Summitt, battling early onset Alzheimer's and chasing a 9th NCAA title. Her Lady Vols put on a show against Miami. Highlights ahead on the halftime report. Dave, Dan, back to you.
Thanks, Cindy. So a really fascinating early season night for college basketball here. Number 8 Florida continues to lead number 3 Ohio State 29-25. Jared Sullinger at the line. He has 6 points. Give him 7 for the night. And you see there on the lower right, bonus. A team is in the bonus when the opponent reaches the 7th team foul and a half. That produces a 1-and-1 free throw opportunity on non-shooting fouls. The double bonus, which you'll see later, that's reached at 10 team fouls. It's an automatic 2 shots on non-shooting fouls. You'll see a plus sign with that.
I heard Jeff Van Gundy say today they ought to give 3 when you get to 15 or 25.
I heard that.
That was great.
Young wheeling into the lane, missed the shot, but a foul with 3.5 minutes to go, and this will go against Ohio State, much to the big crowd's dismay. That's number 2 on Thomas. You make the call.
You don't see a hook very often. I'll make that call. You don't see, to me, that's just play on. That's big boy basketball. Just keep playing. There's Kraft again.
Quick hands with the theft. Kraft will take it all the way through and lay it in. How about that? End to end. He did it all there.
When Kraft goes to the basket, he just stays low. And he gets underneath you and is a terrific layup shooter, which sounds odd. Like, who isn't a good layup shooter? A lot of guys aren't. He's a great layup shooter.
Walker shoved Kraft, will pick up the foul, but it looked like Walker slipped more than it was contact. That's his first.
Watch how Aaron Kraft gets low here. Once he makes the steal, he's going to bring it down, kind of take his time. Now, right now, he gets low, and that was not an easy shot. He put left spin on it, left English on it, and laid it in.
His sister Caitlin just signed at Ohio State today. She signed a scholarship. She's also a point guard. There's a bump and another foul. 2:59 left. So we went a long stage of the first half with very few fouls, and now they're bunching up.
Yeah, and Irving Walker is a tough guard. Aaron Kraft and now Shannon Scott as he comes in. When the ball screen is set 3 to 5 feet outside the three-point line, you better serve just going underneath the screen because Irving Walker is too tough turning the corner.
And the McDonald's All-American freshman Shannon Scott has to come in because Kraft is out with 2 fouls. He picked those up in 8 seconds. So Walker to the line. And it rolls off the iron.
I would expect Walker to hound right now Shannon Scott. He's backing up. He has to go forward and put heat on the freshman.
Both teams in the bonus now. Tied up. Buford trying to untie and does. A 2-pointer.
Right now for Ohio State, only 2 guys get to shoot. Sullinger and Buford with this lineup on the floor. That is it.
Ohio State with their first lead tonight. Field trying to use the screen, pushes it up. Too strong. Tough rebound in heavy traffic by Yeggett. And the sophomore got poked in the eye in the initial minutes. Hammered there with 2:23 to go in the half. Sullinger's first foul. So you get, was not a good foul shooter, just 44% last year. Looks smooth on the first one.
You're going to see the ball screen here. Into the lane now. Ravenel had to help up because the ball went into the lane, and by helping up, it opens up the offensive board. Watch that the remainder of this game. Watch underneath the basket. Do the big men, Sullinger, Ravenel, Thomas, do they help up on the ball? When they do, it opens up offensive rebounding for Florida. That's going to be a key in the second half.
31-31. Shannon Scott just into the game. Up beyond the arc. Shot clock at 10.
Little zone here, a little 2-3 zone.
Buford finds Sullinger. Shot clock at 3. Buford back to the big fella. Shot clock at 1. Will he get it off? The follow-away. Oh, he nailed it. He hit it. What a gorgeous shot, but the shot clock going to 0.
And a smile from Sullinger when he hit it.
He has improved that mid-range jumper.
Oh, great defense by Scott.
Walker on the seat of his pants, calling for time, and he got it. Billy Donovan gets the timeout. Walker really getting knocked around as well, the little fella.
Well, shot clock running down. Get it to the All-American, who spent a lot of time right there working mid-range jump shots.
Jumped into the lead, 33-31. Dan Dockage, Dave O'Brien with it. Everything you expected so far?
No question about it. The matchups are terrific. Buford and Beal going at it. On top, we've seen Walker going at Aaron Kraft. And then on the block, Jared Sullinger and Patrick Young have been fantastic banging with each other.
Five on the shot clock now for Florida. Boynton gives it up. Wilbekin, and a foul there. That was with 1 second on the shot clock. That personal was committed. Team's ninth. Scott picks up his first. So Scotty Wilbekin at the line. Hometown kid from Gainesville. knocks in the first one. Ovican played in all 37 games last year for Florida after graduating high school a year early.
Yeah, Coach Donovan was kind of desperate for a guard, and kid right there in town left high school, joined the Gators, and Coach Donovan rewarded him by playing him in every game.
So under a minute before halftime here at Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Zip to Ramadel, and he drops it in for two.
Well, that was because Sullinger made a nice move across the baseline, drew attention, opened up the middle of the zone.
I'll tell you what, Kenny Boynton has really been silenced by the Ohio State defense. Again, kicks it out for Boynton. 30 seconds before halftime. Boynton trying to get something done. Too strong. All the momentum has shifted to the Buckeyes in the closing moments of the first half. And a timeout here for Thad Matta. He'll take one to set up a play with 15 seconds to go before the break. We'll be back in 30.
11月，高球世界的目光将转向澳洲墨尔本2011总统杯高球赛，由弗瑞德·卡波斯和葛瑞格·诺曼带领的两队精英选手各自为战。美国队力求再度夺冠，国际队渴望一雪前耻。最高水准的国际对抗赛，谁能在总统杯高球赛封王？
Satch, Jared Sullinger's dad up there, enjoying the first half. Very entertaining first half.
Turn around, Satch, you're on TV. Turn around.
Someone will tweet him. 35-32. Ohio State with the ball and 15 seconds left.
Well, this ball's got to go down to the sun here to end the half.
7 seconds before the break. Buford got it off. There's Sullinger from the corner. Can't bury that. Time for a heave. And well short, and that's how the first half comes to an end. Ohio State surging in the last couple of minutes to grab the lead. 35-32, their largest deficit, 8 points, and went on a 17-11 run to erase the deficit. 35-32, Ohio State leading Florida. Now we send it back to Cindy Brunson and Doug Gottlieb for the halftime report.
You're watching ESPN's Tip-Off Marathon, presented by Disney Parks.
For the second half here in Columbus, Ohio State with a 35-32 lead over the Florida Gators. Ohio State going on a 10-3 run from 3:45 left until halftime to overtake the Gators. What happened there?
Well, I just think Irving Walker hasn't been as involved the last 10 minutes of the first half. Here's a kid who scored over 1,300 points, hasn't scored. That's fine. Early in the game, he was setting people up and playing terrific defense. Here you see him digging on Jared Sullinger. He really keyed it without scoring. He was finding Murphy, who was knocking in shots. He was finding others. Here you see him get Murphy the ball twice for wide open threes, but Irving Walker was the guy. Billy Donovan wants Irving Walker to lead the country in assists. If he, with 3 assists in this second half, if he gets between 6 to 8 assists in this second half, Florida's going to win the basketball game.
Eric Murphy leading Florida in scoring, all on threes. He's 6'10". He nailed 3 of them. He has 9 points. And Bradley Beal may find a little more pressure in his face in the second half. He did hit for 7 in 17 minutes.
Well, I thought William Buford figured Beal out a little bit. Middle of the second half on, moved his feet, stayed with him, made him shoot over him, kept him in front. Watch for Deshaun Thomas here to start the second half. They're going to help from him, and he's going to be open.
Sullinger with a touch. Here's Thomas. In and out. And now off the iron. Well, it almost fell in. Touched about every spot on the rim.
He's a good enough shooter to get that kind of roll.
Sullinger leading all scorers with 10 in the first half. Here's Boynton dumping off for Young. Short. Here's Buford leading the pack now, leading the charge for the Buckeyes. He'll step into the lane, and it's in and out for the blocking foul. Just getting started, opening seconds of the second half here in Columbus at the Value City Arena. Dan Dockage, Dave O'Brien with him. And Buford will go to the line as Walker picks up his second foul.
William Buford, shooting 2.
So 2 for Buford. 84% foul shooter last year.
You know, you can complicate basketball, and really the best thing, in my opinion, that Florida has done offensively is put Walker together with Murphy, spread the floor with Patrick Young stepping in on the block, and just play out of it. That's what built the lead in the first half, and don't be surprised to see Florida give Ohio State a steady diet of that with Deshaun Thomas being in the ball screen.
Boyd trying to dump it down for Young. Squares up on Sullinger. Pretty good battle here. Turns, fires again, too strong.
You see right there, Ohio State doesn't have much respect for Young's offensive game. Nobody came to help. They left Sullinger on an island.
Only averaged 3 points a game last year. Sullinger, as a man goes over his back. He's hit with 18:57 to go here in the contest. Florida without a field goal in the last 5 minutes, by the way, and Murphy is down in pain.
Florida foul 4. Patrick Young, his second.
Young with his second foul, and Billy Donovan concerned as he checks out the man who started for him in the first half, Eric Murphy.
As a coach, you don't go out every time a kid is down. But, Dave, you always go out when a kid is grabbing his head. And you're going to see terrific post feed. Murphy's going to come from behind Sullinger. Great fake. Now, here comes Murphy right there. And you can see he falls in the back of his neck. As a coach, when you see one of your players grabbing his head, you get out on the court and check on him.
We'll take another look at the junior from Rhode Island going down.
Florida substitution 15, no yet, replacing Eric Murphy.
I couldn't tell on that angle if he banged his head.
Jared Sullinger shooting 2.
So Sullinger shooting 2. He did hit his head. He did fall back and wrap his head. And Sullinger rolls in the first one.
That stroke right there showed you why Sullinger can shoot the ball. That ball had perfect spin, and because it did, it stayed on the rim and went through the basket. Same with that one. His ball spins perfectly. Some guy's ball spins like a globe sideways, not his. He has a good-looking stroke.
He's 8 for 8 at the line. So this is the biggest lead of the contest for Ohio State, 38-32. Zips the pass. Long one not there for Walker, and it's tipped out, but they'll keep it off Ohio State. That's 6 consecutive misses for the Gators.
The Gators need to get something going to the basket. When you have Walker in point, you have to attack the rim.
That's going to be an offensive foul.
Foul 15 going again. His first.
Again picks up his first.
This offensive foul was set up in the first half, believe it or not. It's a moving screen, and clearly it was. It was an offensive foul, but at the end of the half, Thad Matta was going crazy on the officials for just that, moving screens. We saw Kraft get 2 fouls, and while the crowd was complaining about the fouls on Kraft, Matta was complaining about the moving screen. It paid off.
Buford off the fake, a little closer, leans in, went for the bank and misfired. And now Walker trying to tiptoe that line. Great save there to keep it alive for the Gators. Waiting on the spin. Here's Beal left open. Off target and tip to Ohio State.
But even that's good offense for Florida because they attacked the rim and then found the next.
But there's a lid on the rim for them right now. Here's Thomas with a spin move and a pretty shot for 2.
Thomas just built to score, so when he makes those kind of shots, it's no surprise.
Ohio State returning 63% of their offense from last year. He's part of it. Point with a miss. You get in close. Nicely done for the bank.
Thomas didn't block out on the other end. He is not built for defense and blocking out, Thomas. He's built for scoring, and Yet took advantage.
Florida's last field goal 6.5 minutes ago. Here's Sullinger for the easy stop. Jared Sullinger, the National Player of the Year candidate. He'll try to take that baseline and throw it away. Smith is on the line, however. So the Gators will have it with 17:11 to go.
Dave, we haven't, I don't even think, mentioned his name twice, but as this game is unfolding, Lenzel Smith Jr. is playing a spectacular defensive game, a David Lighty type defensive game on Kenny Boynton.
One of the seniors lost by Ohio State, along with Dallas Lauderdale and John Diebler. Young looking for somebody to come close. Walker on the dribble drive. Swatted away by Sullinger, but a foul on the play as well.
Ohio State now 0, Gerald Sullinger.
Well, Deshaun Thomas is just built to score, so shots like these are part of the repertoire. And then on the other end, he doesn't block out, and Will You Get takes advantage, goes to the rim, and then the ball is pushed. This is a high-level game. A pro throwing it to a pro. Buford to Sullinger.
Sullinger's just picked up his second foul to put Walker at the line for the miss.
All right, this is where Irving Walker has to get himself together. As you see Jared Sullinger there, he has to get himself together. When he shot that last free throw, he was darn near out of the circle by the time it hit the rim. That's a sign of lacking confidence. That should never happen with a kid as experienced and as tough as Irving Walker.
So the lead at 7 for the Buckeyes. Kraft sees some pressure across midcourt. Sullinger off the double team. Here's Smith again.
That's coaching. That's an adjustment at halftime. When we hit the post, don't stand, let him dig. Cut right off Sullinger.
Walker dumping down for Young, bumping with Sullinger and lays it in.
Boy, they spread Ohio State out nice. And Patrick Young, when he gets 2 feet in the lane, he's unstoppable because he is enormous. His physique is absolutely special and chiseled.
His dad was a tight end in the USFL. His sister Sarah played golf at Florida State. Here's Kraft airborne. That won't fall for him, and Young with the board.
Either attack or wait for Young to get down the floor and go to him.
Walker, quick move, stripped away by Kraft. Now a tangle for it. And a tie-up possession arrow will keep it on this end. They're going to have to separate these guys. So we have a timeout with 15:58 to go. Ohio State on top of Florida. 2 top 10s clashing tonight in Columbus.
In studio with this update, I'm Cindy Brunson. Over on ESPN, number 6 Duke taking on Michigan State. In the second half, it's Andre Dawkins. Yeah, he's got 24. Blue Devils creating separation. Coach K chasing win number 903 career. Dave, Dan, back to you.
Cindy, thank you very much. Ohio State leading Florida here 44-37 in the second half. Dan Dockage, take us inside the play.
Well, let's show a halftime adjustment that Thad Matta and his staff made. You're going to see the ball post-fed to Sullinger. If we can freeze it right there, Yaget's going to go dig on the post, which they did in the first half. In the first half, the offensive guy stayed right here. In the second half, you're going to see him cut to the rim. That's an adjustment Thad Matta and his staff made. You see Smith Jr. with a layup.
Florida off the inbounds, but that's on the line, and they're going to quickly turn it back over to Ohio State. So the Gators a little bit sloppy. They've turned it over 12 times tonight.
Well, Eric Murphy's back in the game, and they need to use him in the high ball screen that Florida does and shoot some threes on the defensive side of things. He has to dominate the backboard along with Young. No second shots if you're Florida.
Here's Thomas for a 3. Hill there for the rebound. We talk about the youth of Ohio State, 11 freshmen and sophomores, but of course they bring back Sullinger, Kraft, and Thomas among those youngsters, so-called.
And don't forget Buford.
And Buford as well, the senior. Only one on that team was a senior. No basket there, the foul. Thursday night, ESPN 2 serves up the 2K Sports Classic benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. That's the semifinals, Texas A&M and Mississippi State. And St. John's against Arizona. Foul number 3 on Deshaun Thomas.
Last possession, they had this right here. Ball screen, and Murphy was open.
Boynton lost it off his own leg.
What great hands. How many times in this game, got to be 7, that Aaron Craft's hands have been involved with making a defensive play? Right here, he's beat, reaches in from behind, gets the ball, knocks it off Boynton.
Smith, nice dish underneath Thomas for the bucket.
Again, Smith playing a great game. Makes the defensive player help up, finds Thomas. Don't help up when you're a big guy guarding the basket.
And Smith, again, a guy that didn't have much last year, injured early, very bad wrist injury.
Lost 20 pounds, got serious about his game, and you see the result tonight.
Buford with the block. Kraft goes tumbling out. It's going to go the other way. 14:51 to play in this one. Kraft flying everywhere. A terrific defensive play.
We talked about it at halftime. William Buford has found something guarding Brad Beal. He's gotten comfortable getting up close to Beal, making him shoot over, and there Beal just couldn't.
Florida unable to get Murphy involved. He had 9 points in the first 5.5 minutes. He has not scored since.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. Murphy's a guy that has to get going if Florida's going to win this game.
Buford flips it up. Young collects the loose one. Here's Murphy with a touch. Inside, close, no. Swatted down by Young, tries to save it. It's over to Kraft. Here he comes. The point guard on the attack, lays it up high. Ravenel will lay it in. So the Buckeyes with a fast break hoop lead at 48-37. Young on Sullinger. No, and a foul. Sullinger will pick up the personal. That's a developing story. That's 3 on Sullinger.
When Aaron Craft's on your team, you're wrong. You see everybody. It's like a feeding frenzy. You see Buford, you see Ravenel, you see Sullinger, because you know he's going to give it up and you're going to get rewarded for running.
Young to the line. Scotty Wilbekin coming back on now for Billy Donovan. And Boynton will step out. He's had a very up and down night.
Dan Hipsher, assistant coach at Alabama, told me, and I'm quoting here, Boynton can miss 12 in a row and make the game winner. So when he comes back in, I would expect, if nothing else, him trying to do exactly that. He struggled tonight, but it's not going to deter him. He will come back in this game guns a-blazing.
As a freshman in his first NCAA tournament game, he scored 27. Ravenel. Yes! Two-pointer on target. 50-38. Ohio State has the Gators back on their heels. Wilbekin off the fake. Young. Sullinger right with him. The spin. That's pretty.
That's pretty, and that's great patience. He shook off Kraft's help and went right at Sullinger. And again, this is a team that's looking for ways to score. Patrick Young, when isolated on the block, pretty effective.
Young named to the Wooden preseason and Naismith watch lists. Says the one person in history he'd most like to meet is John Wooden. Here's Kraft badly off the mark. So Walker pushing the tempo, sweeping in. No, it's tipped out, however. Murphy thought about it. Beal can shoot it from right there and drain it all day, but it's Young again. And that time another whistle. It's going to be a traveling violation. 14 turnovers. Let's look at tonight's side by side, brought to you by Brother Printers, the head coaches, and 2 of the very best in the business.
Billy the Kid no more. That was always Billy's nickname. 3 Final Fours, 2 national champions, back-to-back national champions. Thad Matta's record, phenomenal. It was interesting talking to Coach Donovan. Between national champions, after we won the first one, getting ready for the second one, he went and sought out the greats. He sought out Belichick. He sought out La Russa. He sought out guys that had been in situations like his.
Pat Riley.
Yeah, Pat Riley, and learned a great deal.
Foul from behind. Ravenel will go to the line with 12:21 to go. He also got to coach against his son. This was November 3rd. Coach Donovan, the Gators taking on Catholic University in an exhibition game featuring Coach Donovan's son Billy at guard. He had 13 points, and they lost to his dad's Gator team 114-57.
Yeah. But what a thrill for Billy. His son had been a ball boy, had been with him on the bench at various times through national championships. Billy's wife said, I hope Billy Jr. does great, but the Gators win. So what a thrill for Billy. We told him we were going to do a little package on it, and he just beamed. You know, like the father always does about his son.
Because he gets second personal, by the way. 12 out of 16 for Ohio State from the line. They lead by 11. Again. Wilbekin nearly gave it up, hits the deck. And a foul over the back here with 12:03 to go. And that'll be on Jordan Seibert, number 2. .03 remaining here in Columbus. The tip-off marathon presented by Disney Parks. Number 3 Ohio State, number 8 Florida. The only matchup in the marathon featuring 2 top 10 opponents. Walker on a quick dribble, jumping into the lane, some contact there, and another whistle. So the fouls really picking up here to the second half. Ohio State on top by 11 points.
Cindy Brunson in studio with a reminder over on ESPN. Coach Mike Krzyzewski of Duke on the brink of history, chasing career victory number 903. His Blue Devils have the lead over the Spartans by 7. Want to get you out to complete coverage of this game.
Cindy, thank you very much. Mike Conley Jr. at the Grizzlies, formerly of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Michael Redd is also in the house, another great Buckeye.
Michael Redd. We talked about Deshaun Thomas, born to score. Now there's a guy that was completely born to score, and Ohio State fans will never forget overtime Xavier on the run to the Final Four. Michael Conley, 8 points in the overtime after Ron Lewis hit a shot to send it there.
Irving Walker shooting 2. It's described by UCLA's Ben Howland as a fearless little guy. 5'8". Indeed unafraid. He hit some huge points in the final moments of Florida's third-round tournament win over UCLA last spring, including a spectacular driving layup in heavy traffic. Gators falling in overtime in the Elite Eight to Butler. Buford catch and fire. Got it. 2-pointer.
Been doing that for 4 years, setting a man up along the baseline, popping out short corner. Good patience with the ball to wait for him to set up his cut. I just think you've got to get the ball in this kid right here's hands. If he misses, or Walker's hands, and attack the rim. Just keep attacking.
Kenny Boynton. Walker has it. Shot clock at 13 for Florida. Inside to pop it up. No.
Walker completely missed Young. He had a dunk shot.
Thomas would have been a tough catch there on the baseline. Knocked away, and Ohio State will keep it.
When's the last time you heard anybody say dunk shot?
Right.
He had a dunk. What was I saying?
Shorten it up. Ohio State has gone about 19 minutes without an offensive rebound in this game.
They don't have great offensive rebounders other than obviously Sullinger. Thomas okay with it. Buford certainly has the length, but that's going to be something during the course of the season that could be an Achilles heel. I'll tell you what's not an Achilles heel is Aaron Craft's defense on Irving Walker tonight.
Walker, who averages 14 points a game off last year, 0 for 5 in this one. Wilbekin out on him here. Kraft trying to make a move. Shot clock down to 6. He spins. It's still loose and it rolls out. It'll be Florida ball.
Great defense by Wilbekin. He just sat down and guarded.
Florida substitution 23, Bradley Beal, replacing Scotty Wilbekin.
Trying to force his way underneath the defender Murphy. So 10:37 on the clock here, and Ohio State with a comfortable 12-point lead.
Well, right now, Florida needs to put Deshaun Thomas in a high ball screen with either Boynton or Walker, and the man with the ball attacks the rim. Just goes.
Rosario into the game. Murphy, that's his spot. And he hits it, a three-pointer.
That's by far the best offense they've had. It's the only thing that's really gone tonight, putting Murphy out there with either Ravenel or Thomas and continuing on with the action until you find either a lane to drive or a jump shot for Murphy.
He's hit 4 threes. Been a while since he hit a field goal. Thomas bumped and draws the foul before the shot. And back to that last three-pointer.
Well, this is the second ball screen. You're seeing it. Murphy had set one earlier in the possession. They kept him up there because the four-man, whether it's Ravenel, whether it's Thomas, they cannot get back to Murphy. But it's keyed by the man with the ball trying to turn the corner and get into the paint. That time Rosario did it.
It's 3 on Will You Get, so he has to come out. Just under 10 minutes to go here in Columbus. Seibert looking in, using the screen. Here's Buford on the drive. Tough shot. He made it.
Senior shot. When you go into traffic, you keep your chin on the rim. And William Buford, not just your eyes, you put your chin up there, and William Buford did it there.
You would have to average 18 points a game this season to become Ohio State's all-time leading scorer. Jumping in, Boynton, and commits a foul.
Well, that's a foul you live with if you're Billy Donovan. Watch Buford here. Try to watch his chin. See, he kind of keeps it up and focused on the rim. Now here, you can live with this if you're Billy Donovan. You just can't. I mean, attack the rim as opposed to settle for a jump shot. You see Ravenel was outside the new 3-foot arc, taking a charge.
That's the new restricted area arc. It's been implemented 3 feet from the center of the basket where a secondary defender cannot legally take a charge. Buford will draw the foul before he hits the jump shot, so no basket. 1-and-1 time, 55-44 Ohio State with 9:11 to go. It'll be Beal's first personal for the Gators. So Buford, an excellent foul shooter at 84%.
Cindy Brunson in studio. We'll get you back to Ohio State in just a bit. But first, Coach K chasing history. Dan Schulman, Bob Knight, Jay Billis have the call from Madison Square Garden right now.
We'd like to welcome those of you joining us from ESPN2. A furious rush here at the end of the game by the Michigan State Spartans. They've got it down to 5. They just forced a 5-second call to get the ball back. With 12.9 seconds to go, Green. And the rebound down to Curry. Ghana tried to foul him, but couldn't. And now Tom Izzo will tell him, let the clock run off. The game is over. And Mike Krzyzewski has set the record in men's Division I basketball with his 903rd career win. Moving one ahead of the man to my right, Bob Knight, on that list. Congratulations to Coach K as the Blue Devils go to 3-0 and Duke hangs on to beat Michigan State here tonight. Nobody has ever won more games in Division I men's basketball than Mike Krzyzewski. 32nd year at Duke, 37th year overall, including his 5 years at West Point. 4 national championships, 11 Final Fours, and now a record-setting 903rd win as Duke defeats Michigan State 74-69 tonight here at Madison Square Garden. His family, wife Mickey, and children, grandchildren, elated as Coach K makes his way over to the table to share a moment with his mentor, Coach Bob Knight. K is going to be awarded the game ball out at center court. Let's send it to Andy Katz with Mike Krzyzewski.
Mike, what did you just exchange words with Coach Knight? What did you say?
I just told Coach I love him. I mean, I wouldn't be in this position without him. So it's a moment shared, and I know he's very proud, and I'm very proud to have been somebody who's worked under him and studied him and tried to be like him.
What does it mean to you for him to be here? He was there at the beginning. He recruited you. He inducted you in 2001 in the Hall of Fame, and he's here for 903.
You know, the basketball gods are good, Andy. They put two guys who've done a lot in the game together in special moments, and tonight is another one of those special moments.
How plausible did you think that this was at the beginning of your Duke career when things did not go so well?
Yeah, no, I never. Number of wins have never been a goal, and it's astounding, really. We've won this much, but when you have really good players and you're at a great school, you're going to win a lot, and I've been healthy, and I've been at a great school.
Your family's here. Plenty of your players are here. What does that mean to you?
Well, my brother's here, too, and I wish my mom and dad were here, but no, it's a special moment. At halftime, I wasn't sure we were going to have this moment. We beat a really good team, and I'm glad now we can just move on and just develop our team.
What's next? You've won Olympic gold, national championships.
Developing this team. I mean, we want to have a good season with this team, and they're great kids, and they did some really neat things today until the end of the ball game. I think we got tired, and they never give up.
Well, NCAA President Mark Emmert, Reese Davis is going to stay there, but where are you going to put this ball when you get it?
Well, that'll be put in our Duke Basketball Hall of Fame. So it's not a ball that a coach should have. It's a ball that a school and a program should have. So that's the way it always is, Andy. Coaches, we get very lucky when we're at good places.
Congratulations, Reese.
Congratulations to Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski. He says the game ball is going into the Duke Basketball Hall of Fame. He is the winningest coach in Division I men's basketball. Complete post-game coverage continues over on ESPN Ohio State basketball after the break.
And Bob Knight embracing. And Mike Krzyzewski has now passed Bob Knight in the all-time wins list, 903 to 902. I know this is a matter very close to your heart. You played and coached with Coach Knight as well.
I was 16 years with Coach Knight and saw him go to work with class, dignity, toughness, and Coach Krzyzewski the absolute same way. I think when you look at not only the great coaches in the United States, but the great leaders in the United States, Mike Krzyzewski certainly is among them. Coach Knight, I'll give you a little interesting tidbit on Coach Knight. All those wins, right? You know how many NBA All-Stars Coach Knight had? One, Isaiah Thomas. He won games with guys like me.
Young with a tip.
Tells you how great a coach he was. Tells you, he was a terrific coach. I don't think in any sport, in my opinion, but I'm far from objective on this, I don't think there's ever been a better coach in any sport than Coach Knight. I saw the talent that he worked with, how he developed guys, and so it's a tremendous accomplishment for Coach Krzyzewski to pass him because, and again, my opinion, he's passing the greatest of all time.
1,800 wins between those two. Just amazing. Crap high off the window. No, but he got it back. Shot clock down to 3. Never touched the iron. Another scrap for the rebound and a held ball. It'll stay on this end. Possession arrow will be Ohio State. That's their first offensive rebound since 10 minutes left in the first half.
This is the best I've seen Deshaun Thomas play. I mean, Deshaun Thomas has been just a scorer. A guy takes volume shots and he gets hot, fine, but he's defending, he's into it, he's on the offensive glass, he's getting better as this game goes along defensively.
Buford's the guy who's really taken over. Smith gets hit. So he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Buford has 19, 10 of those in the second half. So he's really been a hammer offensively.
Well, you have a young team in Ohio State. You have a senior in William Buford. He's doing what he's supposed to do, which is in the second half of a game of this magnitude, take it over and lead your team, both vocally, but by your scoring, your rebounding, your play.
Denzel Smith at the line.
This kid's been good. Denzel Smith. I mean, we see Buford right there, and he's, as I said, he's done what he's supposed to do. But this kid right here, he's grown up in this game too, defending.
Well, the Buckeyes had holes to fill. We talked about it earlier, the losses of David Lighty and John Diebler and Dallas Lauderdale. But they have talent to fill those holes. Wilbekin handing off for Beal. Long distance shot. Buries it. A three-pointer.
That's bad play by William Buford. That was an easy switch. William Buford relaxed. Smith Jr. knocked down. That should have been an easy switch by William Buford.
Oh, taken away by Beal. Crowd wanted to foul and lay it in. Getting physical.
Now, Florida's not going anywhere. This is an experienced, not well coached, great coach on the sidelines. Tough team. They're not going anywhere.
Wilbekin really battling with Kraft there, and he commits the backcourt foul. Thursday, the Puerto Rico tip-off continues on ESPN2 and ESPNU at 5 Eastern. It'll be JaMychal Green and Alabama taking on ESPN2. And then at 7:30, it'll be on ESPNU Wichita State against Colorado.
Florida substitution 33, Harry Murphy.
10th team foul, so we're into the double bonus. Nice job.
No, that wasn't. That was awful. That was horrible.
2 shots for Kraft. And misfires there. You're right. Florida's still hanging around. Down 64-53.
They have to keep attacking and not settle.
Murphy, they pay special attention to him outside that arc. He's hit 4 threes. Beal on a hard drive, lays it up. Oh, it won't fall for him. Murphy with the rebound right there for the stick back.
You see a much more aggressive Florida team because they're taking the ball at the rim. That's who they are. Go to the rim. Don't settle for jump shots. Billy Donovan's team, too experienced, too tough to go away.
They're on a 7-0 run.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Disney Parks. Don't wait. Let the memories begin.
Ohio State had a 16-point lead, but that has been cut down because of a 7-0 Gator run.
Well, Florida, in the course of getting down 16 points, settled for too many jump shots and showed frustration. And that's not who Florida should be. They're too veteran in the backcourt to get frustrated on the road. So they've decided they're going to attack and fight, and they're right back in this game.
Flashback April 2nd, 07. Billy Donovan's Gators taking on Ohio State for the national championship. Torrey Green and Al Horford leading the way, 16 and 18 respectively. Florida beat Ohio State 84-75. That was their second consecutive national crown.
It was, and in talking to Coach Donovan today, he said that the thing that he needed to do during that season was to take pressure off the kids because they felt so much pressure. It's the only team that's won back-to-back national championships with the same starting 5 in the history of NCAA basketball.
He said he went shorter with practices and film sessions that second year, tried to take some heat off his guys. A lot of different techniques in that second year. Kraft with a handoff, 9 on the shot clock. Buford has it.
At some point, this has to get on the block to Sullinger.
You would think so. Shot clock down to 4. He's going to lift a long one. Thomas with a tip in. He was right there.
Well, when Sullinger came out to ball screen for Buford, end of the clock, there was a bit of a rush by Florida to get to Buford, opened up Thomas under the basket.
So the Gators trying to answer. Wilbekin, nice dish, and Young with the easy 2.
Oh boy, I'll tell you what, Patrick Young just obliterated Jared Sullinger on the left block. Just stepped in and knocked him back.
9.5 for Young. He has 10 in the game.
Every time they've spread it out and gone to Young down there, isolated, it's been pretty effective.
Kraft to the left hand for 2.
There you go. He missed a layup earlier, almost threw it over the backboard. This time got his head on the rim, made it.
68-57. Wilbekin on the baseline with the bounce. Walker, yes.
First basket. 1,300 points. His first basket comes with 4.5 to go in the game.
Oh, a tumble as Kraft goes down. He's pushed by Wilbekin, who will pick up the foul, and Kraft grimacing as he gets up. One thing about Walker, you may be able to hold him down for a while, but he has that nickname, Big Shot Irv, for a reason. So 4:23 to go. Our tip-off marathon presented by Disney Parks tonight from Columbus, Ohio. Florida number 8, Ohio State number 3.
I know I keep saying it, but I look for Billy Donovan to bring in Boynton here for Wilbekin. Wilbekin's done a really good job handling the ball, getting it to the right guy. Oh, here it comes.
Making a change right now. So Kenny Boynton is coming on, the junior.
And the reason you do that is you're hoping to kind of catch lightning in a bottle here, down 10 or 11 with 4.5 to go. And certainly Boynton is a guy capable, along with Walker and Beal, of doing that.
And Donovan has called him an NBA defender. He really believes he's the man to beat for SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he does. And he also called him a fearless competitor. And this has been a struggle for him tonight, so he'll be tested these last 4 minutes.
70-59 in the lane. Beal, difficult shot, no. Thomas cradling the rebound. Here come the Buckeyes. The difference in the game has really been at the line. Ohio State is plus 11 at the line. Kraft swatted away by Murphy. With 3:59 to go and a timeout. So we'll take the break as well. Ohio State on top, 70-59 over the Gators.
Cal students are excited about their basketball team, and a major reason why the outstanding senior guard Jorge Gutierrez. Gutierrez and his Bears hosting Austin Peay here tonight in Berkeley, coming up next.
(70-59) Ohio State with the lead on the Florida Gators. As we take a look at the moment of the game, brought to you by Disney Parks.
Here's why this is the moment of the game. Florida went to a zone in a 2-point game, and Billy Donovan's used zone before. 1 second on a shot clock. Jared Sullinger turns baseline, knocks it in. Here's why it's big. Coaches, when they give up a bucket in a zone, never go back to the zone. They can give up all kind of buckets in man-to-man and stay with it, but coaches never go back to a zone when they're not zone coaches.
There's the big fella you were waiting for, Sullinger. A rare touch for him in the second half.
Yeah, the ball was swung nice. They spread Florida out. Sullinger moved block to block, got a layup. Great defense, Smith.
Boy, Smith has had quite a night on the drive, trying to finish and block from behind. On a play off Beal in Florida. Lenzel Smith Jr. has been a big factor for the Buckeyes, and Thad Matta has worked his way into the starting lineup. He's played great defense tonight.
Yeah, he's been terrific. He's been where he needs to be all the time. He's been tough on the ball.
Kraft will run a little bit of clock here. 72-59 Ohio State.
Yeah, he wants him out. He wants you to get here one-on-one late clock.
He pushed Thomas back. Again, 6'7" forward from France against Kraft. Will fire a long one. Barely grazing the iron.
That's a bad decision.
Rosario. And Kraft knocked it away. It was off him. Why was that a bad decision?
Well, it was a bad decision because he got the matchup that he wanted, and even if he forced it, Aaron Kraft gets low enough to get by bigger guys. He would have made a play either for himself or for someone else. He just settled there, and he hasn't hit it, and he's missed badly. Sometimes when you're going, it's a good decision, but he had been missing badly all game. That's what made it a bad decision.
They go into Young again with a rolling hook, and he knocks down another one.
Once again, they get Young isolated, this time on Thomas. Thomas no match.
Young coming on 3 points a game last season. He has a dozen tonight at Ohio State. You made the point earlier, they were not respecting his offensive abilities. I didn't do now.
No, they did not. They didn't send anybody help. They still haven't. They've been hurt by it. Again, Kraft, when he gets low and in the lane, he makes good plays.
Makes the bucket to make it 74-61.
When he raises up or settles for a jump shot, that's playing in the defense's hands.
You get with a miss and a whistle with 2:08 to go.
Ohio State foul for Aaron Kraft.
So Kraft with his third personal stops the clock at 2:08.
I don't know what he's shaking his head for. He went right underneath Young, and he had to. It was a good play. Saved the bucket, made a guy that I know he's a 70% free throw shooter, Young, but he's not a 70% free throw shooter. As the season goes on, it's going to be somewhere in the 40 to 50 range, I believe.
Young 3 for 5 tonight. And coming up on the tip-off marathon at ESPN2, Austin Peay against Cal. Cal ranked number 22 as the marathon rolls on. Patrick Young, big Red Sox fan. Huge Sox fan, loves Pedro Martinez and everything he did for the Boston Red Sox back in the day.
I'm going to ask you a couple baseball questions. We'll get a little time here. Who's going to be managing where?
Who's going to be managing the Red Sox would be a good.
Red Sox and Cubs.
Both with new general managers. 16 on the shot clock as Kraft picks it up. Here's Thomas. Shot clock down to 10. They're wearing it down. Thomas again. Baseline. Wriggling in. Blocked by Young. Now a scramble for it. Murphy went down. Florida saves it. That was picked up by Rosario. Now whistled with 1:34 to go. And Florida running out of time. Smith with a second.
Yeah, you don't like that foul at all. You want this clock running. When you watch tape like a coach and you sit in for hours and watch games and you see it, man, how'd they come back from 11 points down with a minute and a half to go? This is how, right there. When you foul somebody unnecessarily, now usually they make the free throws to come back, but that's why coaches get so upset in situations like that.
And Kenny Boynton, usually a very good foul shooter, 82%. Kraft to Smith, off the fake. Here's Buford to shoot it. That would have been a dagger for the Gators. 1:10 left. Here's Beal. Got it to three-pointer.
Bradley Beal, 3 points.
Again, 2 possessions. Stadmata was going crazy when Buford took that shot. There was 20-plus seconds on the shot clock. Now we'll address it calmly with a senior, but he was not calm when he took that shot, Buford.
And Field just came back on the other end and knocked it down from about 26 feet. He has 17, 10 of them in this half for the Gators. So they are still in it. 1:06 remaining. And for Florida, some notable non-conference opponents on the schedule. Syracuse December 2nd. That's on ESPN, and on ESPN2 on December 7th against Arizona.
Texas A&M, Billy Kennedy fighting Parkinson's, early Parkinson's. He took some time off, coming back. Chris Middleton out with a bad knee. Really hurts that program, but to me, best wishes to Billy Kennedy as he not only fights Parkinson's, but getting his team going as a new coach at Texas A&M.
Under a minute now here in Columbus. The Gators still battling. They were in a lead 18 last year. Butler got them in overtime to knock them out. A foul. So Beal will pick up the personal number 2 with 50 seconds left.
You know, we talked about guys, big shots. You need to make these free throws here. Beal made that last possession down easy. You have Boynton out here who's going to make a shot. They're going to bring Murphy back in here. You're going to surround Patrick Young with 4 guys that can shoot the ball and shoot it from deep. You need to keep scoring here if you're Ohio State.
Kraft with 10 points. Shot 73% at the line last season. Murphy back on. He's in 4 threes in this game. Again, will step out. Buford to the bench for Ohio State.
Ohio State 30, Evan Ravenel.
Evan Ravenel comes on for Sullinger. Sullinger, a pretty quiet second half. They didn't find him very often. That was a big reason that the Gators were able to work their way back into the game, in and out of the second one. So a 9-point game. Boynton trying to lead it. Kraft stripped him and knocked it away.
Good choice by Boynton, not just settling for a wild 3, but he just went against the wrong guy. I mean, that's got to be 8-9 times Kraft stripped a Florida offensive player.
Sullinger, a solid, if unspectacular night. 16 points and 5 rebounds. Boynton on the inbound. Off the the screen, lifts it up, and a whistle, and a foul on the play as well. A shove there while shooting a three-pointer, so he's going to get 3. Wow, 38.9 seconds left. Thompson commits the personal.
Well, Thompson just in the game, freshman, just goes up. No need to do it. Just run past him instead of run into him.
So Boynton back to the line. 3 shots.
In Thompson's defense, tough spot to be in coming into a game with 40 seconds to go for the first time.
Freshman from Chicago. Although he's been drawing range by Thad Mata. So Sullinger back on along with Buford. And Thompson will hit the bench.
Now, if you're Florida, you pick up, you get a trap at least, and then you look to foul.
Here's Beal. Off target. And a foul with 30 seconds to go. 75-68. Brown Holly has thought a foul was committed there. It'll be on Beal, his 3rd. And that'll put Buford to the line for the Buckeyes.
William Buford, shooting 2.
Buford 84% at the stripe. And again, the only senior on the roster for Ohio State.
Florida substitution 33, Eric Murphy, replacing Bill Yaget.
Murphy comes back on for Billy Donovan. Number 3 Ohio State trying to hold off number 8 Florida here in Columbus. Points for Buford. Here's Boynton to cast it up, and nothing but net on that 3.
3 points.
6-point game. Here's Kraft. He's held with 23 seconds to go.
This is what I was saying earlier. The possessions we talked about earlier, the silly foul, the quick shot by Buford, it's still a 6-point game. It's only a 2-possession game. Those are the plays with a minute to go, with 50 seconds to go, that cause unrest here late when you're playing a team as experienced as Florida. That's why everybody else in the gym had relaxed when Buford took the shot or when the foul was in the backcourt, except Thad Mata.
Kraft with another one coming. Ohio State trailed by 8 early in the game. Then took the lead at halftime on a 10-3 run. They led by as many as 16 in the second half, but the Gators came charging again.
Well, it's a veteran team that, as you said earlier in the broadcast, won 70+% of their road games, so with really good guards.
Boynton fires up another long one, another 3 for Kenny Boynton.
Now you just got to get a steal or foul. It's immediately right. You've got to foul Deshaun Thomas right now.
15.8.
These guys are so dangerous. Boynton, Murphy, Rosario, that the mistakes earlier just come back. I can't say it enough because I'm trying to give you the perspective of a coach. Thad is going to move beyond it, but that's what you and your staff are going over in your head. And hopefully moving forward, it'll be a learning technique, it'll be a learning tool for the Buckeyes.
Florida taking a 30-second timeout. Boynton has scored 6 points in 6 seconds to keep them around 79-74. So let's toss it back to the studio right now. Jonathan Coachman standing by. Jonathan?
All right, thank you so much. Still to come tonight, Jorge Gutierrez, Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year, getting set to take on Austin Peay. That's coming up next, part of the tip-off marathon here on ESPN. Back to you guys.
So 15.8 seconds remaining here in Columbus. A 5-point lead for the Buckeyes. Thomas will be at the line for Ohio State. Ohio State did not lose a home game all last year. They went 20-0 here.
And now if you're Florida, make or miss. You just have to get points, stop the clock, go to the rim. If somebody helps you, kick it, but you just keep attacking. And right now, a 2-possession game. You don't need to force up something quick, but somebody other than Kraft's man has to handle the ball here.
Thomas 5 for 5 at the line and rolls in another one. 81-74. Will Boynton get free again? Try for the handoff and tipped out of bounds by Ohio State with 11 seconds left. So the Gators in possession to check in. Boynton lifts over Kraft. 5 seconds left on the line. So 5 seconds remaining in this contest. And Ohio State up 81-74. Gators with the ball. Here's Rosario from the corner. No. And that will do it. Ohio State wins it. 81-74 here in the tip-off marathon, knocking off number 8 Florida. So the Ohio State Buckeyes were perfect on this court last year. They're perfect early on against a very tough opponent in the Gators. For Dan Dockich, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks so much for joining us. This College Hoops Tip-Off Marathon presented by Disney Parks continues. We have Austin Peay taking on Cal. That is coming up next. Ohio State wins it 81-74, the final tonight. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.